Hello guys, this is Leo from Quotes and Posters, and today I'm gonna talk about the quote, "Life is too short to be living somebody else's dream." This one is from Hugh Hefner, the guy from Playboy. Alright, so life's too short to be living somebody else's dream. Man, I mean, do you work for a corporation? Do you have like a stupid 9-to-5 job where you're just basically giving your time and your labor to make someone else's rich? Like, are you actually doing this right now? Do you hate your job? Do you hate everything that represents your job? And even like, do you work for a company that you don't actually enjoy the calls and is not bringing any benefit for you? Are you in a situation like this? So this quote is for you. Right, man, you gotta get out of this situation, man, because if you really believe in these things that I'm saying, and you believe that, man, you're like wasting your time working for a bunch of assholes. And I've been there so many times. I worked in so many like different jobs that I felt like that. And are you if you really want to change your life, you gotta build something. You gotta. If you can't change your job now, do the job you have to do, and take your entire spare time and build something by your own for yourself. Do something else with your life. Build a side project like I'm doing right now. Build this side project and change your life. And maybe if you are smart enough, and if you can actually bring a lot of value to people, maybe in a couple of years you're gonna be able to revert your side project into your real thing. And I know that I did this actually. I had many jobs. And I was really, at some point, I was really unsatisfied with the corporate life. And I actually was climbing. I was like doing this. I was like climbing the corporate ladder. But it's so fucking hard, I was not I'm not made for the corporation world. I'm not made for this world. Like everybody's like fake. Everybody's like trying to kick the hell out of you, and it's not fun. It's definitely, I don't know, man. To me, I was feeling completely exhausted. I was feeling like completely drained, my energy in the end. And then in the end of the day, I remember I used to drink a lot of coffee. Man, I used to wake up. I was so addicted to coffee, you cannot imagine. I used to wake up and drink 2 shots of espresso right away, straight away for the first wake up, right after I went out of bed. And it's this thing about the alarm clock. Also, I remember the fucking alarm clock, man, when it hits you and you're like in the middle of your dreams, like so cozy, and then this fucking alarm clock hitting you is so fucking uncomfortable, man. You have no idea. And then I had to drink 2 shots of espresso, take my shower, full of negative thinking, get dressed, get dressed, like put those stupid clothes. You want to be dressed as much comfortably you can, because you're going to be sitting for 8 hours straight in front of a computer, in front of a crowded office with people talking and full of distractions, and then full of office politics, and then you have to pretend that you're nice even though you hate everybody. Man, I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. And man, it's just you're just wasting your life away. I mean, and it's of course now it's easy for me to go and brag and say these things. It's like, you know, the most easiest thing is to say, oh, get another life, like if it's something like very easy to do, right? Oh yeah, there's plenty of opportunities for everyone. The world is it's open air, like like there are infinite possibilities. And yes, it might be true, but at the same time, like I don't buy much into this self-help thing that the world is like so easy to get to make things happen. It is not. Of course it's not. You have to work your ass off. And you have to be very lucky, you know. I happen to be very lucky, to be honest. I was extremely lucky with my partner, because he does most of the work and I don't do anything now. I just design these posters, and my partner, the other company that I have, he's like, I mean, that's how he chose to live his life. He just wants, I offer my help as much as I could. I offer to actually help him 24 hours if I could, but he didn't want. He wants to do things by himself, so what can I do about it? It's his option. Anyway, so what I was saying, that I was extremely lucky. I'm not saying that I managed to quit the 9 to 5 because I'm extremely passionate and extremely talented. No, I was extremely lucky. That's the truth. But I did it in some sort of way. I did it. I'm not making as much money as I used to do when I was working for a big corporation, but I don't have to deal with all the bullshit from the other corporations, right? From this world. There is a very sad and angry and unfortunate world. You know, office, man. Office is so everything that represents an office. I hate it. I can't believe people actually have to wake up, dress to go to an office. And I hope now with this pandemic, I hope that everybody in the world can work from home, you know, because it's so much better, so much comfortable. And in my case, I like to work listening to music, and I hate noise, you know. I hate distractions. I like to have my place, my space, you know. I'm a very lonely person, so I hate people. I hate to be next to people, you know. I just have a phobia about these things, you know. And I like my own company. I like to be with myself, you know. I don't like to be like I hate like this small talk, you know, having to blah 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 when you go get some water, some coffee. And then I was drinking 8 cups of coffee a day, and I was completely crazy. And then I used to believe in this shit. I used to believe you can actually do your great, you can do your best work in an office. I used to believe in all this bullshit, and you can't. You can't, because there's a lot of people there trying to fuck you up. And man, it's just a lot of people, at least in my experience, you know, maybe other places, maybe other companies, they can actually treat the team in a decent way, and they can actually take care of you and make sure that you are performing your best. But in my experience, never happened. I was always running and trying to prove and trying to do the best against all odds, you know. And then there was always like this odds, this like people trying to sabotage me, and it was fucking stupid, fucking crazy, you know. People with different ideas, different opinions, conflicts of interests, and then you have to like people going on with war with others, and oh man, this is so fucking stupid. Offices and people stabbing you behind their backs, you know. So yeah, if you really don't want this bullshit, you should really consider this quote here. And it's a very profound quote from this guy, which goes, Hugh Hefner, like, I mean, it's quite a stupid guy, isn't it? Like, he goes after girls, he has so much money that all these girls go to his mansion and they compete to each other for who's gonna stay with him, right? It's kind of a monkey, right? If you think about it. And yeah, but that's how the world is, right? And then this guy probably is incredibly intelligent, because he came with a very interesting quote like this, like, life is too short to be living somebody else's dream. And it's quite interesting quote, because basically when you're working for someone else, basically that's what you're doing. You're giving your time for someone else's dreams, you know. And that's crazy, man. It can be quite sad if you don't have the right people actually to share your dreams together and build something together, you know. And it's extremely hard to find the people that actually you're gonna be building something together, and it's extremely hard actually to sustain a relationship on the long term with these same people. That's why you see it's very rare, if you look in the world, people collaborating together, sharing the same dream for their entire life. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes you see cases where it happens, where couples build something amazing together, like Charles and Ray Eames, for example, the designers and architects, or Hanna-Barbera, or sometimes you see bands doing this together, collaborating together. But most of the times you also see that when you have a collective of people, and especially you see this happening in bands, where you have people like the Beatles, for example. I'll give you an example, like at some point they were just not happy, they were not just connected as they used to be before. And sometimes this happens because people just change their minds, and people just go on different ways, right? People just go on different ways through their lives. Sometimes you start working with someone and you have a certain harmony, and then the relationships they're so easily disintegrate. And that's something, you know, that is part of life. You see this happening everywhere. So if you can't find someone to build a dream together with you, the only option you have is to build it yourself. And then you can be this person, like the visionary, which they like to portray it as the visionary, like Walt Disney, this guy, Hugh Hefner, Steve Jobs, and whatever, Mark Zuckerberg. You just become what society portrays as the visionary, and then yes, then you can do it. You can succeed by yourself. And sometimes I wonder myself if that isn't it the easiest way to succeed? Because I tell you, by experience, I'm gonna tell you, working for a company is fucking hard. Climbing the ladder, climbing the corporate ladder is fucking hard. You have to be very good with politics. Then, building a company with someone, or making a business or a project, a successful endeavor with a partner, it's also very hard, because there should be an immense amount of trust, and your visions should be totally aligned, and there should be respect, because the most easiest thing to happen is for the respect to end between you and your partner. And you see this in everywhere, not only on business, but you see that in marriages and everything else. So it's extremely hard for you to find a partner that can respect you, you know, and that can actually understand your values, and also you can understand his values, and both are willing to compromise, you know, because it has to be like this for a successful relationship. And unfortunately, sometimes it's not. Sometimes people just behave like assholes, and it's totally out of your control. It happened to me many times. What I'm gonna do? Am I gonna be a victim and I'm gonna be like complaining, or am I gonna try something else by my own, which I am, which is like this codes on posters thing, which I'm doing, which is a project that I want to be completely independent, you know, because that's the way I feel is the only way for me to give the best of myself and and reach the best quality, right? Without going into the risks of having a partnership that might prevent me to keep on my dreams about this project, which is to inspire people. Because always when you have investors, or when you have other people on board and they are not on the same page, then basically you're screwed, right? Basically you're screwed, because then they're not going to allow you to do your work, and then you're just going to be a slave to the whole thing, and you don't want to do that, right? You want to have creative autonomy and independence, right? That's how you want to roll things, right? So be very aware about these things. Be very aware if you're going to try something. Be very aware of the risks associated with starting that with someone else, and be very careful. Make sure you write contracts and get everything on paper, and be very clear on things. So it gets much easier when the disagreements they start to happen, because trust me, at some point there will be disagreements if you're doing something with someone. And if you're doing something by yourself, then embrace it, and embrace all the obstacles that are gonna come to you, and just remember to have fun, right? So here you go. Life is too short to believe in somebody else's dream. And thank you very much. See you again next time.